guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're going to be jumping back to some more Create Astral and automating all of these resources. Hopefully you guys are ready. So starting off today, my goodness, you can see I have cleared off a bunch of stuff. And last episode we left off where we upgraded our boilers. Well, boilers we call them, but steam engines, I guess you can say. So now we have a bunch of extra power, which means I can extend some more things over here. And so I was thinking about getting myself some more resources set up and automated, so that way I can just click them. And for this one, I'm going with Andesite. Now I did take the residual Andesite that I had, and I was able to use that to upgrade to a triple compressed Andesite. That is a lot of Andesite, but this will now mean we only generate Andesite from this particular machine. Later on, we should be able to hook up these storages directly to our applied energistics. So I am setting it up that way. So in the future, we can definitely access these things a little bit easier. But for now, I need to get lava and water in here to get this created. So water can go in here, lava can go here. So lava, water, bam. As you can see, andesite generated just like that. That's perfect. So the way I have this set up is a funnel that is placed here. And actually I can get rid of this particular funnel and I can go with a standard funnel because those are definitely cheaper to make. I don't want to be wasting my brass funnels when I don't need to use them. But we need to just make sure it's inserting, and that fan that's on the back should be enough to push it across the blocks. And we may have some loss, but this is pretty effective. It's the same setup that I've actually been using, that I had used right from the beginning. So in just like that, after hooking everything up and getting the drill, we have this all back and running again. I feel like this is a pretty decent setup. As you can see, the fan blows the product, and it goes right into here. And there's another one, and another one, and another one. All right, you probably get it at this point. So if this is going to be the hub for resources, I think today is the big day. Today is going to be the day that we set up some Cobbled Deepslate. That's right. Apparently, you guys mentioned in the comments to check out Cobbled Deepslate. And, well, I did so. And apparently, if you go down to Y level 0, you can actually make a Cobbled Deepslate generator. And, well, that's gonna be kind of useful because with that Cobbled Deepslate generator, we can generate a ton of resources. So Cobbled Deepslate, when put through a crushing wheel, which we now have access to, can produce all of these resources. Like literally everything we need from our first stage. Like everything, including Lapis and Redstone. Like this is awesome. And it just so happens that it produces eight resources, which is the exact amount of spaces that we have. So let's take a look at this. So we have our water, and then we put our lava, right? And there we go. It generates this. Now, with this setup, I kind of dug an area out. I'm underneath. And what I can do is I can run the shafts down here in order to get all of the items in. And then we can create ourselves a mini factory for generating Cobbled Deepslate. This is going to be the first time where I'm actually generating a lot of resources all at once. And what I need to do is I need to get those resources produced, then funneled down into, I'm going to actually use a water column. And I'm going to set the water column up to just take the items up to be pulled in by our funnels. Now for this project, I'm going to have a water column that's going to be right here. So what I want is I want this to just push the items over there. And so we'll have a belt running across just like that. And now above this is where the cobblegen's actually going to take place. And so we're going to have chutes that are running through here. And above this is going to be where the where the cobble's actually made, right? So we're going to have that laid across here. And what should happen is, for example, the items fall and you can see they land on the belt. And so when the belt's spinning, we should be able to get this over here. Now, I think what I want to do is set up a cobblegen that at least does 9 items at a time. And it should be relatively fast, especially with our current setup and the speed that we can get these things rotating. I am going to run a shaft all the way down here. That's about 64 or so blocks, 60, 70 blocks. So 60 or 70 shafts. That's really going to equate to a little under like 1 per shaft. So we're looking at like 6 or so stress per shaft, but that's completely fine when we're generating as much as we are. And this is going to benefit. This is going to totally outweigh everything. So with that placed in, all I got to do is get some stairs. By the way, if you're wondering how am I getting back up, well, it's just a matter of using some magic with your bucket. And yes, you can stairway yourself back up in situations like this. I love carrying a bucket. Buckets are so useful. So for this project, I think a back tank is really handy. This thing right here is a back tank. And to charge it, you do need to hook it up just like this. And all we got to do is pick this up. And if we put this in our back, and we also have ourselves a diving helmet on. I don't know if we need the full suit. I think we just need a diving helmet. And if we go underwater, we should be able to breathe. We should like be granted like a certain amount of time that we can breathe. You can see right there, we have 14 minutes or 15 minutes worth of dive time in our tank. So this is going to be super helpful because this right over here is going to be our little tunnel that this is going to be connected to. So if I jump right on down here, I'm going to have to convert this. This whole side, by the way, is going to have to be built up, but you can see this is working just fine. We need to go down one block. And of course, right then my pick breaks. And we need to make all of this source blocks. And the best way to do that is by using kelp. And you're going to notice when I do that, you can see it turns into a source block. And that means we're going to have to line this wall. Let me grab a couple of these blocks. Do that. But yes, this will line the walls. And this will be the support here. We are going to have to support this as well through the front. But this should be all fine and dandy once we get this done. As you can see, that right there will end up being a support. The items should go straight through there. No problem once we get this all up and running. I just managed to, of course, break all of that. Okay. So yes, the back tank's going to be super helpful because I've got to go all the way up this way and make sure that I turn all of these into source blocks. After all of that, I have the bottom down here replaced. I've replaced that dirt with soul sand, and now the bubble columns are going up, and all the items should end up going up there. Now, I think a better way of doing this would be to place a door here. I don't know if we can place doors on top of belts though, but right here, because this is going to be leave it and forget it, I'm not really worried about how this looks. But for example, let me actually go ahead and place a couple of these in. I'm going to need a little bit of a water source down here, and then I'll have to bring a bunch of lava down here. But before I do that, I should be able to grab that. Let me grab this. I'll have to replace that back in there, making sure I replace the water that I just took out. There we go. Now it's back to the unlimited. Okay. And all of these stairs right here for this setup are going to need to be waterlogged. And then on the other side, this is just going to be lava. So I have my shafts now routed all the way down, and that's running into a speed controller so I can speed this up as need be. But for right now, I'm going to leave it nice and slow so we can get this thing up and running. So everything is placed in. We're all ready to go, except for the drills. So we do need to get the drills in. Make sure they're all facing down. Thankfully, this should be pretty simple. Like, once this is done, it just falls right down into the bottom. And then as far as shafts go, we're going to place shafts on each one of these. And including this one. And then I do have my toolbox down here. And then we'll just hook our belts to this. And there we go. This is now on. Down here, this is routed as well, connected to everything, making sure this is spinning the right way. And you can see they all land on the belt. And there we go. And it gets shot into the water like you're seeing right here. I think it would be best, though, to have this as a full block. That is definitely going to need to be a thing. Hopefully this is enough. This should be a plenty. I know it's only putting one at a time and it doesn't stack, so it like kind of has to wait. So we're going to end up with a build up on the belt, I think. But let's speed this up a little bit. And it does. Okay. I don't see the items even on the belt. So is it just like spitting the items elsewhere? I don't know where anything's going now. Like, it was fine when it was a bit slower. Maybe it literally doesn't show the items landing on the belt when it's going that fast. But it's working. And that's what matters. Now, it is at this point that we need to make ourselves the crushing wheels. So time has made it to this point, and here we go. So crushing wheels, kind of a pain to put together, but we only need 2 of them. And I think the recipe gives you 2 out of this craft. So boop, and there we go. We have crushing wheels, and automatically we should be able to set up a sort of buffer chest. So if I set up an inventory here that allows me to hold blackstone, or not blackstone, cobbled deepslate, we should be able to use a brass funnel to literally just collect these items that are going to be flowing right up out of the water. It should be pretty easy to handle. So, honestly, a barrel, I think a barrel should work. I don't think we're going to need any like specific inventory. But how's this going to work? So, we'll have a block here, barrel, and I'm thinking the best way to do this would be to take the funnel and just have it pulling the items directly out of the water like such. And then that allows us to then get our belt running and then get our crushing wheels going. And then we just need to route all of our items up here into the barrels that we're going to have, all those finished products. So after getting all of this set up, let's go ahead and place the belts in. And now the crushing wheels are kind of cool. You can actually place them. I'm going to place them, given this one little space here. You could make this a little bit more compact, I believe, but right here, I can place them in and they can go on their side. So this actually works, as you can see here, which is fantastic. And I believe we should be able to power this directly through. I'm not quite sure how exactly I'm going to do this, but I was thinking about utilizing our cases here. Let me place down the toolbox. And, oh, I am out of... Looks like I'm out of gearboxes. I'm going to have to make some more of them, but I believe the rotations through the gearbox will work. And I think I can supply it from the middle. We'll be able to see. These do have to spin in this direction, I believe. Yeah, they have to rotate in, so they need to be both spinning in this sort of direction. But as soon as this is done, I mean, that's literally it. Like, we're going to hook this to a rotational speed controller, and like, things are going to be fantastic here. Oh yes, it does work. So I just tapped into here and got this spinning. And what I have is the rod in the middle, and I just put 2 of these together and it goes through the belt, and it is so fantastic that you can just power this directly like that. So this is rotating in the proper direction. So just don't walk into this. It will kill you. And I don't know if it'll break your grave, but I know that the drill will break your grave. So be very, very careful when doing this. Now, I do have the setup underground turned off right now. But what I need to do is I need to get a belt system that goes from here and then routes up top, so that way we can have setups on these, and we should be able to just use regular funnels, but we are going to have to set up storage units here. Actually, we may not be able to use regular funnels. We might have to use brass funnels, because we are going to be setting a filter here to expel 60 at a time. So on this filter, I want the stack size to be a full stack every time it goes to send out. So I set that to 64, and we should be good, but we are going to have to figure out our belting situation. What I could do, honestly, is I could just set up a belt line up top here that is directly above these barrels, right? So we're going to have a barrel here. We're going to have a barrel right here. So what we could do is, we know where our belt line is going to be, right? And we can extend it out and just have it go this way and use a flinger to shoot the items. Oh, this will be fantastic. Yeah, that should totally work. And we can use like a buffer chest to definitely help that flinger out. Now make sure on each one of these, make sure you set up the auto input, and make sure you set that, because otherwise funnels don't just directly work with these. They have to have the auto input turned on. You don't necessarily have to make the auto output on, but I just like to go ahead and do that just in case down the road. I am going to be using funnels here specifically. I don't even need to filter these, but I do need to specify, hey, it's probably a good idea that we have the ability to pull in more than just one item at a time. Otherwise, it will go down this belt line and we'll just bypass this if it's more than one in a stack. So I think this is going to be super, super fun to set up. So weighted ejector is going to be deposited here, right? Flinging there. And then we're going to have a weighted ejector. I should be able to, I hope I can rotate this in a different direction. Maybe not. We're going to have to figure out how to get the power routed. But I want this weighted ejector to send to it. So it's just as simple as literally connecting these. And we'll have this up and running. I'm going to go ahead and just on this one use 2 gearboxes. As you can see, that's down. That should be fast enough. Routing over here. I'll use a gearbox and then I'll just use... Actually, we'll just use a bunch of gearboxes and do a vertical gearbox here and here. And then connect that with a shaft. Like I said, it may not be the best setups in the world for all of these, but at least it's going to work. And it'll be super fun because it should fling me here, then fling me there, and then fling over here. And these should all end up on some funnels that are pulling in. And this belt line should easily be set up and just connected to this. I'll use a vertical and we'll just make sure we flip the direction. We need it just going the other way. Super excited. I have this hooked up to a speed controller now. We get this hooked back in. So it's back to spinning like it was. And so now we're going to be able to dial in how fast we actually want this going, which is going to be pretty nice. I'm saying that right there is going to be a significant amount of speed. Now, to head back down, we just have to turn this on. And then also figure out what rotation do we want this going on? Do we want it going the same speed as well? All of this is just kind of up in the air, generating all these resources. I don't even have the resources set up in a filter yet, so probably want to do that as well. But let's just go ahead and get at least some items generated. So that's hooked up. So that's going to start producing. We just need to turn this up to 128 like the others, or 112. I think 112 is pretty good for right now. Thankfully, I can go back up just like this, and I don't have to take any breaths or anything. Thankfully, this is the perfect size. Perfect size for a water column. Who would have thought? So there it goes. We've already got one item in, and this should be coal. I guess it'll filter itself. Yeah, it'll just filter itself as this process. So I think the downstairs should definitely be turned up. Well, no, this has 50. It's waiting for a full stack. Then it sends a full stack. I mean, I could just have them just process automatically, just all of them. It's a very low chance, right? For this, I think we definitely want as much of this to go through as possible. Maybe I'll just send one at a time, because I guess it doesn't really matter at that point. Or maybe 32. I think 32 at a time seems reasonable, because we don't want this to fill this belt up, which is what it would probably do. Yeah, I definitely want to speed up the stuff below. Maybe we can make it go as fast as it possibly can. And there we go. This is literally going as fast as it possibly can go. It is maxed out. It mines it pretty fast. Like, that's nine at a time. It's like 2 seconds to mine 9. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. And like, especially as we're just doing things, this is just going to be running. I have ran into my first issue with this. What I'm going to have to do is bring the belt here one back like this. And I'm also going to have to bring my weighted ejector one back as well. Because as you can see, it is generating the resources, but these are going to have to be specified and placed in a different location, because right now this does not work. Because it's treating this as a filtered location, apparently. So this needs to be set there where there is no filter. And so when I place this here, that works out perfect. Or actually, no, it needs to be placed. Ooh, it needs to be placed one over, doesn't it? Directly in line. It does work right there. Okay. So in line. A little dangerous me jumping on that. There we go. And this needs to transfer the power out. So where it's currently at is not going to work. I need to pull this power out one. And oh, it's actually actually we could probably get away with it being right here, and then this just being a regular gearbox. Yeah, there we go. And then that, and then we get shafts put in. There we go. That's in line. Wow, look at all the resources already generating. This thing is so good. We'll click here, and then this. Oh, I sort of messed up, didn't I? I actually messed up again with this because it's off one. It's off by one. So I select there, and then this needs to go directly on top of this. So there we go. Okay, and then I can just extend this one like so, and then hook it in. Perfect. Okay, and then I should be able to select that. This all seems like a weird way of doing this, but I promise you it's just super fun to watch. And then we place that there. And now all the resources should end up on this belt. For example, redstone. There it goes. And we can throw these on there. I believe blue dye is part of it. Coal's definitely a part of it. This is crazy. This is just generating a bunch of resources for us. Oh, this is fantastic. And look at them getting flung. There we have it. We literally have all of the resources gathered up. Oh my gosh. This is a work of art. This is beautiful. No more mining. Like literally no more mining. This is perfect. So guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We got resources pretty much automated and set up now. So we are generating redstone, lapis, iron, gold, copper, tin, zinc, coal, all those things that I really, really wanted to get my hands on. And it's just all set up. And I think this forgoes many of the other methods of gathering some of these resources. So this is fantastic. Guys, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and also give this video a huge thumbs up. Comment down below if you think there was a way I could have done something better, as that's how I learn from you guys. Believe me, I do read the comments. I try my best to reply to them as well. And I thank you guys so very much for watching. Of course, I think, though, it is time to thank the supporter of today's video. And that, my friends, is going to be a huge thanks going to Quiet Boar. But thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, supporting me in one of the best ways possible, and then just supporting me through Discord. Guys, if you're interested in joining the Discord, go to discord.gg/ChosenArchitect or find the links down in the description below. Also, be sure to check out my Twitch live stream and follow me over there if you haven't already. And I do have a Twitter as well if you'd like to follow me and you're a Twitter person yourself. Guys, I thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.